Hello, hello, everybody. We are back to the stream, and it's Wednesday. Wednesday. And as always, we will start with pre market preparation. Let's open the economic calendar by trading view and have a look here before we start looking at anything else. So let's look at the news. What type of news do we have today? We have a Fed speech 10 minutes before the open and a few other Fed speeches right after. But there's really nothing huge today either. Quite low importance. I don't really care too much about these Fed speeches. We can take a small look ahead. Tomorrow we have a huge day. We have CPI tomorrow. Gonna be some extra volatility, which is why I think today is gonna be a little slower. I guess I can open the screen. Inflation, CPI tomorrow, and then on Friday, what do we have on Friday? I believe there was PPI. Yes, PPI and retail sales on Friday. So a very news-heavy end of the week. So today, Wednesday, I believe today we will have a more slowly paced day. Like yesterday. Yesterday it was Veterans Day. There wasn't too much action. Too much action or liquidity yesterday. Which makes sense because it's a holiday in the US. But yeah, today expecting a little bit slower day, as I already said. Let's take a look at the charts a little bit here. Open the TPO, and this is what we do every time. We take a look at the TPO, and we get better at predicting what the market might do today. And what I'm doing here on stream, you can 100% replicate yourself, and you will get better at it time after time. It's like, what would you say it? It's like drawing a picture, The first time you're drawing a picture, it's not gonna be perfect, right? But the more you do it, the better you're gonna be at drawing. And this is the exact same thing. Your imagination will get better. And it's a lot about imagination. And once you start seeing these patterns happening over and over again, you will start being much better at reading it. So let's look at it. Let's look at yesterday. Yesterday we had a trend day. First of all, we rejected lower prices the day before. I'll change the size here. You see we rejected here lower prices on Monday, and then we closed at the highs. Still in value, but at the highs. So a very bullish day. A very tight overnight range just turned into a humongous move to the upside. It was very slow at the start. I wasn't looking once this move happened. I was already done with my trading session. But yeah, apparently we had a big move to the upside, and we left some single prints. And this is a very, very bullish shine, obviously. Do I think we will continue up today? Not quite sure, right? We are quite close to the previous close. So my first scenario for today would be that we have a open up and we fail the push. And then we start coming down. We close yesterday's close. We hit previous close. And then we start taking these single prints here at these levels, and then we turn back. And from here it's possible we continue. But I think today will be probably some type of balanced day, and there won't be a lot of action today, I believe. Just because we have so big news tomorrow and on Friday that it doesn't really make sense to have like the crazy volatile day. Usually days before huge news are much slower, which is quite surprising why yesterday we had that move. But it could be because we had lower liquidity in the market, and that means that it's also much easier to move the market because there's less participants. So not as valid, in my opinion, yesterday's move. But this is scenario 1. Scenario 1 is that we run the overnight high, pull back into the previous close and the single print, and then we find some buyers. And scenario 2 is the opposite of this. We pull back, run the overnight lows, and we find single prints, and then we move back and chop around these areas. We might even just chop around these areas as well and create balance here. Very possible. But these are my 2 scenarios. There is a third scenario as well, because obviously we have a very bullish market, so we need to have a third one as well. This is the least likely of them all, but I'll still draw it here because I think it's fairly possible that it's gonna happen. And remember, if you have any questions about the pre-market prep or anything I'm doing here, just ask. I'm glad to help. So just open retest, retest the open and fly away. A gap and go, in a sense, where we gap up and we just go. That's my third option. So if we hold above the overnight high and continue to the upside, very possible that we also get a trend day. So today we have like 3 scenarios that are possible. Usually I have like 1 or 2. So more opportunities to different sides. There's a trend opportunity, there's mean reversion opportunity. So still, you know, a little bit of a question that what's the obvious play. But we also took some obvious magnets from the upside yesterday, and we left a or low here overnight as well. So who knows, we could, you know, have a proper pullback as well. But yeah, these scenarios for today. My number 1 scenario, push up, reject into previous close and the single prints. We probably won't take all the singles, but we will at least take a dip in them. Then the second scenario, we just drop instantly from the open, do the same thing, and then we find buyers, push back to value, and then we stay around these areas. Or then just the third scenario where we just fly up. So 2 bullish scenarios and 1 a balanced bear scenario on YM. On ES, we pretty much have the same story. I'm getting some emails here. We have a poor high, so this is a magnet. So what I would love to see here on ES is a move up, run the overnight high, because this is a poor high, so this is a magnet. Run it, run down, and then reject. This is my favorite scenario, and I love this so much on ES today. This scenario is my favorite scenario, and this is the trade I'm gonna be looking today, because we have such a clean structural play, right? We are looking for a poor high to get taken out into the previous close and single prints. So we have 2 magnets there, and then maybe find buyers. Because ES was a double distribution profile, so we rejected the value here, and then we found new value above here. But we didn't break out from previous value a lot, you know. We stayed a little bit above it, but it's not like a very clear breakout, so we can 100% move back. It's not as bullish as YM is, so it's much more easy to take this trade. So that's my scenario 1. Let's take the yellow color, or then we just have this. We drop down. You have this low, you know, value area, single prints here, and then we find some buyers from here. We reject, because this is a support level. Obviously, this is a place where price has went through it very fast, but also rejected it as a pullback. So it's gonna be a great level to find some trades. So I believe that's gonna be a good one. I think it could look something like this, possibly on both sides. The first one is a bearish scenario, and the second one is a bullish scenario if we find buyers here at this specific level. All right, got some ES scenarios in there. Let's look at RTY. RTY has a disgusting low. Look at this low. So we already know in RTY that this is gonna be a magnet. Let's draw a magnet here. You know, this is gonna be an obvious magnet level. Market wants to go here. So a push up in the open into the magnet would be beautiful. The second scenario is that we just take the magnet instantly and find buyers to the upside, or then we even take these single prints and stay around these areas. So, two scenarios, but the play is obvious. I'm looking to mean reversion trades, or I'm looking for mean reversion trades in ES and RTY. YM is more unsure. There's so many plays in YM. You could have a trend play, you could have like an exhaustive gap play, or you could have a gap and go. So there's like so many different trades that you could be looking for here in YM, versus RTY and ES are more structural. There is poor lows and poor highs. There's previous close, there's single prints as structure for us to target, but YM was so bullish yesterday that I think it's gonna be a very hard trade to take, because we could continue and continue the trend, or then we're gonna just realize that was a FOMO move up and you know, get some type of pullback. But here, ES and RTY, 100% the easier trades to take there. So that's pretty much it, what we're gonna do. We are getting close to the session open. Let's take our ruler tool here. The gap is not very big either. I'll do some research meanwhile on my other screen. Now, if you have any questions, it's a perfect time to ask me for pretty much anything. We for sure have edge here on RTY and ES. I'll still look at the numbers. I have to measure the gaps and do my mathematical equation of what type of edge we have here. Oh yeah, we have a beautiful edge on both markets. So the place up, I would say ES has around a 70% chance of hitting the gap. Historically, RTY has a little bit higher, I believe, like 75, 76 in that area. Historically, that today we are gonna hit the gap. I have different metrics that I'm putting together from my backtest, and then I use that data to you know, decide if I'm gonna take the trade or not. I also look at risk reward. Obviously, we have decent levels. We have some other magnets there as well that increase the win rate a little bit if you're going short. So that's why we like a short trade here today. Yeah, if you have any questions, I have my chat open on Kick and YouTube, both platforms I'm streaming on. So it doesn't matter on what platform you are, I can still see your chat. One issue I notice, I have 5 screens. monitors, but when you're streaming, I feel like I still don't have enough. You know, when I'm trading alone, these 5 are well enough. But when you're streaming, I noticed that, wait, I need to have my OBS open somewhere. I need to have my chats. I need to have, you know, all these resources somewhere. Hopefully a browser as well. I want to see the news feed. So many things. So I might have to take my laptop the next time, which I sometimes use for news reading. And look at that. But hey, we have the open here. YM moving to the upside. RTY. Hard to say where it's moving. It's still kind of still. Might be a YM trade here. We might get our YM scenario 1. The other markets kinda are going for the scenario 2. But still not very positive on that. Because we have to remember that yesterday was very bullish for YM. So we really need a perfect entry if we want to nail this one. I might be looking at RTY here. I think this is probably gonna be the cleanest out of them all. Remember, we have the one one poor low as well. There are so many markets you could be trading right now. Trying to focus on all of these. Still some positive delta. I have to look at the TPO on RTY. Did we take this old P close? No, we haven't. So this could be a magnet before we actually enter our trade, this old BP close, and then we would start looking for a short trade. So let's not get hasty here. Let's not get hasty here. I want to see this old P close first. Old P close. Once we hit this red line, then I will start looking for a short trade. YM is just flying away. Looks like one of those gap and go type of situation. But hey, it can still turn. It can still turn, possibly. So it's gonna be very important here to see if we can get some type of reversal signal out of this market. We do have some proper volatility here as well. ES is the only market going down out of the open. Maybe NQ is doing bad because these other markets that are correlated with ES are showing bullish numbers. YM really flying. RTY is probably gonna be the play here today. But I'm still looking at YM. You know, there's edge in YM and there's a good risk-reward ratio play as well in YM. But you really need to see a proper sign of sellers. And I don't see that yet. But I don't want to take the RTY trade before it takes that old previous close out of the way. We do have some stock buyers here at this specific level in RTY. So, you know, could be a a trade location. But because we know we have that level there, I don't want to fight against that level. Let's not do anything stupid. Why am I looking very strong? RTY is looking for the old peak close out the open. We might get a setup there. YM is just flying. YM did that gap and go type of opening. But this could also be like a huge FOMO move and then just move back. But so far it looks like a proper continuation from yesterday. I really wanted to see RTY hit this level here. So something like this where we move, we take this level and we start falling back and take this previous close here. That's the play I'm looking for in RTY. YM is mooning. Look at YM. What a move YM is having. Yes, YM is not something I want to put myself into. We got the scenario where it just flies off, and that's why that's why I said in my pre-market preparation that hey, YM has a lot of scenarios, but I don't like to be a mean reversion trader into a market that has just trended up the few past 2 days pretty much, and then it looks very strong. So there could be continuation, and it looks like it's just gonna do that. We are very close to the old previous close here. If we hit this level, that's when I'm allowed to start looking for mean reversion on RTY. Looks like ES is finding some support at the lows as well. I still have a cough. Well, I've always had a cough, but lately it's been a little bit worse than before. Not sure if I'm just a little bit sick or what the issue is. I really want to see this old previous close. We did not quite get the level yet in RTY, so I'm not touching the trade before it does that. YM for the first time having some negative delta here after our up move. But I wouldn't want to short this. I mean, look at this move. Holy, what a move RTY, I mean YM had. Not gonna go short RTY yet. I really want to see this previous close. I was trying to confirm that the previous close level was correct, because sometimes it's hard to see these RTY levels correctly just based on the TPO. But it looks to be right. It was just few ticks away from, or points away from the old close, and then it had a small reaction. Alright, let's run this level and flush down. That's the play we are looking for in RTY. YM slowing it up a little bit, but still looking strong. I would not short that. I would not short that move. Yes, a very balanced opening, nothing special going on. Yes, waiting for the news as I expected, but I suppose YM had other plans. I wonder if there's like some type of bullish news in YM that's making it go like that. I had my camera fall down from the Understand? Oops. Well, that's possible too, I guess. It's a little off center now, but that's fine. We have to focus on this trade. A lot of negative delta here on RTY, which is a nice sign. Alright, we're back back after my camera fell. I hope nothing broke. And ES gets a huge selling order. I'm looking for a short here on YM. These levels. There we go. I'm short for a very tight risk here. Very tight risk reward, but really amazing risk reward ratio. Still a huge negative delta here on RTY. A very tight stop here, so we might take another shot at it. But I thought that was the point where it started looking like it's gonna turn, so we're still gonna see here what happens if we get the down move that we were predicting. Alright, now we got an up move. And delta is starting to turn positive again. No, but the sellers are still catching it. You can see the delta is holding, but price is still trying to grind up to the highs here. If we get stopped out here, we're gonna take another shot at it. I think the trade is good, or I know the trade is good. But the risk reward is amazing here. We are only risking 90 for a gain of almost 500. So risk reward is amazing here at this level. Very tight stop here, because we might run the high and then we might do it to the downside as well. But for now, holding it very tight. Now it's moving in favor. You can really see the delta shift here. Like, we went from buying delta into huge delta shift in selling, and the sellers are really trying to get this price down. Now it's just up to the sellers to take the move to where it's supposed to go, which is previous close. That is my target. Why I measured my entry to the target is because I'm looking to always add to my positions at the 50% goal line. So once I would be 50% to the target, that's when I would start looking to add into my position. Because I really want to push my winners, and when I'm also taking my stop down, I'm trailing it. So keeping my risk small, not letting these drawdowns come up. All right, now it's turning again. Very choppy here at these levels. And you can see now delta is changing a little bit to the upside as well. So do we get some buyers here? Let's see if our stop holds here. But again, very good risk reward ratio here, so we can take easily another try if we need to, and the risk reward is still very amazing. This is like over almost 5R from here, and then with the add we're probably looking like at 8R. So probability wise, we could have a higher stop, but I don't want to do that because this is not the cleanest high. So I want to hold it tight. I do like the delta here. But we are starting to see some buying delta, but the buyers are still failing to push up. But so are sellers. There's a huge fight going on. Let's see if it wants to draw on now. Do we get the downside move we are anticipating here? Or do we get it a little bit later? Or do we not get it at all? Sometimes, you're not gonna be always right either with your predictions or your edge. I know I have edge in the statistical play here, but still, even if you have a statistical edge of, let's say, 70% on this specific idea of working, there's a 30%, and then you also need to be able to get the entry right, which probably takes you to like a 40% win rate or something. But if you're having a great risk reward ratio and good risk management skills and discipline, you're gonna make money. Still negative delta, but it's really struggling to go to the downside. Really struggling to go to the downside here. Very choppy at these levels. And we are gonna get stopped out. There we go. Okay. Well, we're gonna look for another one. A second entry, possibly if we get sellers in control here, but we're gonna stay and look for a while. Yeah, this specific moment, if it drops, it looks great. But then once it starts chopping, the move could go, anywhere. But we had a very tight risk there. And, we're gonna get even better risk-reward ratio if the price goes up. The only market I would not short today is YM. Look at YM. YM is just flying. Yesterday we had very bullish price action on YM. We'll take a small loser there. Now let's put it into into the screen so people can see. I don't like this high either, so I want to see it push a little bit more before I would start looking for a short trade from these levels. Let's take a look at ES. ES so close to taking the previous close here. Look at it. It's one tick away from the level, and then it has a small turn. Small turn. In RTY we also have This poor overnight low. This overnight low is so disgusting. We also took the previous close that hasn't been taken out since 3rd of November, I believe. So that's still in play as well. We have an unfinished auction here on RTY, so I'm not gonna go short here, even if it would otherwise look quite good. I don't like how it reacted there. You don't really want to see a unfinished auction and enter with it, because it's gonna be a magnet and it's probably gonna move back up. So we're gonna wait patiently. We're not gonna FOMO into a trade here. If it goes, it goes, but I don't ever enter against an unfinished auction. Never, 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 never. At least when it's at the highs of the level. Like, if it's just continuation, then it's fine. But if that's the end of the move, then it's a magnet and the market wants to take that magnet out, and I don't want to enter against it. If you have any questions in chat, let me know. We're still waiting for another short trade here on RTY, but it's not quite there yet. I don't like what I'm... Otherwise, I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I don't like the unfinished auction there at the highs. So what I really want to see is I want it to run the high again, and then if we get a proper reaction there, then I might look for a short play. But for now, we're just waiting and thinking about a play here. Later on, YM still flying and ES filled the gap, so there's no play in ES. ES trade is off the table. It pretty much did our scenario 2 from the pre-market prep, exactly as we prepped, but there was no trade to be catched there. You know, maybe if you play the VWAP you might get it, but there's really no clear structure for the trade, so it's not worthwhile to take it. YM flying away, and RTY, let's see if RTY can run this high, and if we can find that short trade. Now you have, you know, you could see like a big shift. You had a lot of bullish delta on these rotations, then it turned to bearish delta on the rotations, and now we're going back and forth, you know, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. So right now there's a huge fight at this level, but no one seems to have control. At this point I thought that, hey, you know, the sellers were gonna push it down, but the buyers came in. I got baited in a little bit. But we might still get a good second one here. Good second one here. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. She's scratching herself right now. Scratching. Alright, here we go. Do we break that high? Let's see. Now it's very important what happens afterwards. Do we continue the uptrend on RTY, or do we get sellers really pressing the sell button? Look at the bid here. We have a lot of buy orders here at the bid. And someone just ate through those buy orders like it was Nothing. Was there a bigger order there? Yeah, there was a bigger sell order for 85 contracts. For 85 contracts. Still nothing to do. Waiting for that, for the move to happen. YM is just crazy. You start seeing some sell orders coming in on YM, but you know, at this point, we already have so much bigger, you know, bullish moves that even if you get the pullback here, you know, once you get at these levels, you can probably see something like this happen. So mean reversion, I wouldn't really bother with taking like a mean reversion trade here against such big momentum to the upside. And I already said it in my pre-market prep as well that, hey, it's very possible that you get the gap and go today on YM as well. You know, there was many possibilities. Mean reversion was on the table here at these levels, but once you see it like just zug, 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 you know, to the upside, it's not the trade. And RTY looks like it wants to wants to go here maybe. But I'm not allowed to take the entry here because there's that 4 high in place, so I'm not gonna trade against that. We do have some nice targets on the downside, but hey, I'm not gonna FOMO into a trade. Sometimes the most important thing, you know, a trader has to know is when to be in a trade and when to not be in a trade. And here is a great example of how you and wait for your trade rules and criteria to match. But when I see something like this, I'm never taking a trade against it. Never. Sometimes the trade would work, but I've seen this pattern so many times that when that happens, the market likes to take a small pullback away from it and then correct it eventually before it would even go to my target. So I know in the long run, that's 100% a losing play. And that's why I have my hands here, you know, outside of the keyboard. I'm not gonna press any buttons here. It's gonna be very interesting to see how much ground YM can make today. If we can get like a proper FOMO move to the upside on RTY and then move back, that would be beautiful. So something like this, like aggressive move, a lot of volume, and then whoop. That would be a great play. We also took this level, as we could have already like looked for entries somewhere here around these areas. But as I said, this is gonna be a magnet today. So you don't wanna take a trade either before that magnet gets taken out, and it did. But now we're stalking. And we kind of want to see some type of FOMO move. Let's run some stops here, and then get some seller stock or buyer stock. I mean, not sellers. Here we go. We get some sellers at these levels as well. Let's look at this negative delta. A lot of selling when it's ran this level. A lot of selling. It's a huge negative delta here. Whoa. Look at that. Look at that negative delta coming in. Negative 575. Let's see if that amounts to anything. Or do we move back to the downside? Now if we can properly break this 9 EMA to the downside, I'm 100% looking for a trade. We had a lot of buyers and sellers here at this specific level when it broke out. And it's quite rare to see that sellers are FOMOing in as well at this specific level. But I think, yeah, probably a lot of people are also looking at the same level I am. So we have the people who are willing to take a gamble on this stop run type of situation. But I always wait for a confirmation, right? I always want to see some type of move in favor before I enter. And right now, there is nothing like that yet. Let's look at the delta. Delta still rising to the downside, so there's a clear divergence in delta right now. You know, we have a lot of selling coming in, but price is not moving anywhere, so it's getting absorbed. The buyers are absorbing the selling at these levels. But hey, we are still waiting to see here if we can get on a trade. For the first time, we're seeing some positive delta now. But it goes back to negative. Not a very huge, you know, negative delta or positive delta there. So that's not something you should really care about too much. But when you see like a number 600 on a move that's to the upside, I usually like that. You know, when you get a huge negative delta number to the upside and the move goes up, and then if you get a turn, then I feel like there's much higher probability of the sellers actually stepping on the gas pedal once it turns, because the buyers give up. But as long as there's a fight, you don't wanna go in there. You want to, you know, let the two punch each other, and once the other one is knocked out, then you can make your bet on, hey, which one's gonna win. Alright, now we're getting some selling in here. Some selling in here. That's not quite good enough for us. Not at all. We're still waiting for a perfect entry here. Have you guys gotten any trades today? Any setups that you're looking for? Did you catch any great moves in YM? If you're trading ES is looking like a balanced day. We already had a gap close, kind of what we planned pre-market by the looks of things. YM looking like a small pullback here on YM, maybe, possibly. Okay, do we get a possible entry here? I want to wait for a little while, because it likes to sometimes fake out here and run back. But if the sellers manage to push beyond these prices, then I'm looking for a short. Alright, we are short again. Again, very tight stop here, because it's very choppy up here. And we could again have, you know, a run, so we're not gonna, you know, have a very wide stop. We're just gonna put it behind the high here. But yeah, if we take another loss here, then I'm done with RTY because the price action is then not giving me what I want. And you know, if you fail 2 entries, then maybe you don't have edge in your short-term plays at least. And that's how I usually think. But hey, let's see. I think it's gonna be a good one here at this specific level. We're seeing some sellers here again, pushing market. We had this huge negative delta, push up on negative delta, and now we're getting a small move in favor. So we're betting on this small move with very tight, great risk reward. And this was a very important candle for me because it tried to push back, but then it rejected. And that was kind of what I was looking for. And let's see now if this market wants to take us back or if we're just gonna go back to the highs. Very choppy up here. Very choppy up here, but still liking it. Gonna put it here, and then we're gonna take our measuring tool in case this moves in favor. And this is where we would be able to add on this white line. Let's see if we manage to break this low now. RTH VWAP, third time's the charm or what? We have tested this level already or this indicator quite many times this session. On support from it. Let's see now if this is the time to go to the downside. Let's see if we would get our trade here that we were really looking forward to. Now what I would want to see is that we puke through the RTH VWAP here. Negative delta still continuing to the downside. To the downside. Alright, we're getting the downward move here. Looking like possibly a good one. I'll swap to this camera angle here. I'm gonna open my Discord as well. There we go. Let's see what is happening here at the ETH VWAP. The move is getting catched a little bit. A very clean rotation to the downside. Big momentum here. I do want to see some type of pullback first, and then I would add into it. Get my stop into a nice position, and then look for the target. Right now we're just going with momentum here. No pullback yet on RTY, we're just straight up going to the downside. Alright, if we continue this type of momentum, then I might add here this level already, even if we don't get a pullback. But I'm expecting a pullback now, if there's gonna be a pullback. Something like this could maybe happen. Or then we get a bigger one. That's possible too. Still holding above this or below this VWAP. And we still haven't seen like any type of rotation to the upside since we just flew by these levels. We might just have to take a straight up add here if we continue, because this held so cleanly below ETH VWAP. We didn't even have a pullback. That's true strength. But if you have a pullback, that's fine too, and then we have clear position for our stop as well. Still on the same rotation. 20 tick rotations, no 20 tick rotation against our short trade here since it puked. Okay, there we see some buy coming. So we do get some type of pullback here at VWAP. You still have a nice stop position regardless. And now if we make a lower low, we have a clean structural stop for us as well. Seeing some positive delta here at these levels. Nothing like major, but still seeing some buying here at the ETH VWAP, which is completely normal. This is usually a level where a lot of people would be looking to buy. Looking to buy. A little cough again. Sorry for that. Tell me if the music is too loud as well, by the way, because I don't have a clue. I believe yesterday it was a little bit too loud for a while. But yeah. Let's see if it wants to keep going and creating some new value here at the lows. Or if we get the pullback back to value. Now if we can break to the downside here, then it's really good for the trade. I'm looking to add if we can get into this white line, which is the 50% line of the target. Then we have 50% left from our entry. Looking for a almost 20-point trade here on RTY. Let's see if it is able to go to that level. Yes has also a quite clean downside target at the previous close line. And we are adding here with Le Confidence. And now let's see if we can fly high. I'm gonna have my stop here above these VWAP still, in case if we pull back. But now we still have a great risk to reward ratio here. And the probability is in favor, right? Because now we are halfway to target. We have this magnet here, we have this magnet here, we have a poor low as well. 2 magnets to the downside. And we could also have the IB low stat here. IB low stat here. Mean cough, mean cough. Like a fun move to the downside here. Yeah, look at this overnight low. Such a poor low. Overnight. Looking like a target there. On RTY. Finding some buys here again. For a while, but still looking like the trend might continue to the downside here. And we have a very clear target. So we are very, very sure about the target. Yes, finding some buyers here at the previous close. You can see Look here at the bid. A lot of orders there, and those orders got taken. Let's see where the market wants to continue after that. Still some negative delta, hitting a small wall here. The IB is now in as well, so now we kind of have this magnet here, this magnet here. Well, we have one magnet here above as well, technically, and then this is pretty much the biggest magnet. But we are targeting the previous close. I might go for the bigger target with this other one, depending on how it looks like. Let's look at the low here. From the night session, how does it look like? It looks quite disgusting. Quite disgusting indeed. So let's have half of the position targeted into that level as well. Hitting some support level here, you can see. Small support level here. Nothing major, but a small one. What is YM doing? YM is just hovering around, having that small pullback, but again, you know, the upside move was so big that there's really not an obvious play there. RTY getting that clean rotation downwards now. move my stops a little bit. Alright, we took those. Scaled one. Didn't get all of them. Almost. Still looking for that previous close target here. We scaled one contract there. We didn't get the full amount. I saw that there was some traction there. You could see that it was kind of feeling more heavy at that specific point. So I already tried to get some of my orders out there, but it only got one. But the statistical edge is still there in this level, so it doesn't really matter. Even if we get the pullback here, we're still looking for that move to the downside, regardless. Very close to it. Yeah, it would have been very nice if we got that scale there, but only got one. Only got one. But still, getting that one scale is good, because then we make that first winner or first loser break even pretty much. We're $5 up on the day after that scale. No, which is still fine. And we're still looking at that level below, and we haven't had any pullbacks on this move. So getting one is quite natural. Quite natural. Yes, took a quite clean test on those singles there. Ran some of the singles. RTY still has the previous close there. Almost took it. Seeing some positive delta here. Some buyers jumping in. Let's see if this was just a healthy pullback and we can continue to the downside. As I already said, this would be the last target, but this is the main target. And we are looking to scale most of our position here at the red line and then leaving just few contracts for the bigger overnight low, which is quite poor. So 2 magnets to the downside here on RTY still. Let's see if we can go to the goal now. No, we're just gonna let it do its thing.
No stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star.
Yeah, I think there's quite good possibility that if we make a lower low here as well now, that we are gonna take this overnight low. We're probably gonna run it even you know, more than properly. But my statistical edge is in the 7. I already took one contract out there, but when it was heavy, I tried to get more because I didn't want to see a lot of rotations there, but the statistical edge is still there, so we have our position and we don't want to exit at these prices anymore. It doesn't just make sense when you know that the statistical edge is there, but if it's like just few ticks away from your goal, then it doesn't make sense if you see like that the market is getting more heavy to, you know, sit and find out. Because there's always a probability for a pullback, and that's what happened here. You can see where I scaled out was pretty much the perfect, you know, position to take profits if you wanted to take profits. But the play is still the same, and we haven't taken this level or this level, right? So unless there's like a capitulation or something, then we're just gonna hold it. Shooting star. Now let's see if we can get the last extension here home. Last extension home. What is YM doing? YM having the pullback we talked about from RTH VWAP as well. Yes, also lingering here. The same way RTY is at these levels. RTY is more extended to the downside, but yes, looking to make newer lows here as well, maybe. We are so close to it. Let's capture all that R. There we go. Alright, we just got stuck there. There was no continuation momentum. It was fast move, capitulation move into the P close, and then we just got stuck there. So I'm just happy by taking my profits here. Good trade, good trade. We hit the target. We didn't leave our runner there because we didn't have like a clean transition into it. We ran it fast and then we got stuck there. So in my opinion, that's a capitulation move, or like a FOMO-ish move, and I don't wanna hold those positions into that. So I'm happy with that one. Great one, great one. We got the main target, which was the previous close. We hit that. We gave it a small chance there to continue to the downside, but the momentum kind of died after the push, the fast push that filled all my orders. So, but hey, we had a great trade. We made like what, 7R, more than 7R on that specific trade. We reached $90, or was it $100? And we made 648. So amazing risk reward from these levels. Technically, if we leave our runner there, we could maybe even catch a little bit more, but it's against my rules to hold into that type of move, and we are already so close. So might as well take the profits there. Stonks today, any recommendations for karaoke songs? Now we get Riku. Yes, Stonks today, we had a pretty big trade here in RTY. We made $648. Any recommendations for karaoke songs? Are you gonna sing karaoke today in the bar or the venue? You're at the venue, right? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to your message there. Well, I guess it was 2 minutes ago. You sent that. Yeah, I was looking at my trade. Hell yeah. So yeah, we had a short from here. On our second try, we got it. We first lost $90 here. On the first try, we got stopped out. It's fine. We waited. We were patient. And then we got the entry here for the short. Stop here, risking like $90 again. Was it $90 or $80? And then we have a huge risk reward move in our favor, and we catch that whole move. Let's see actually how much risk reward ratio was there, because that was insane just based on this, but then I added into the position as well. So 5R just by the move itself, but then if we take the calculator, and we divide 648 with our risk, which was like, I think 86 or something. 7.5R. That's 7.5 trades in favor. So we can lose 7.5 trades like that. And that's the power of keeping your risk in check. As I already said, we had a small losing streak of 4 days. But suddenly, one trade, and it all changes. 648 bucks on that one. A pretty good one on RTY. This was the favorite setup today. And pretty much all markets got the types of moves that we had in our pre-market as well. So everything went according to plan in pretty much every market. And we got the easiest one of them all, which was RTY. Good karaoke songs. Well, of course, Pikkuveli is a great one. Right. Pikkuveli. What other ones do you have? Pohjois-Karjala. Or Juna kulkee by Kari Tapio. That's a good one. We already had one of those songs, I remember, on one of our trips together. Juna kulkee, 100%. You're gonna sing all the Kari Tapio songs today. That's what you're gonna do. Yo, äiti pojastaan pappia toivio is decent as well. I would take that, but Kari Tapio is my winner in my book. Kari W. Tapio. Äiti pojastaan pappia toivoi. That's a good song. That's is that Anssi Kela? Mennyt mies is... No, it's Viskari actually. Viskari, yes. Mennyt mies. Yes, good one. I like Kari Tapio though. Mätä Tapio. Well, I like those songs. I mean, I think you can't go wrong with these. These are good hits. Good hits, 100%. I wish I could play them on stream. I wish I could. You also missed a very epic moment on my stream when my camera fell. That was like a funny moment, I suppose. Kolmas nainen pappi song. I'm not sure if I remember what that one is. Kolmas nainen is familiar, but the pappi part I'm not sure about. I have to listen to that after the stream. The singer. I have to Google this. Pappi. Yeah. Okay. So that's kolmas nainen. Äiti poistaa pappia toi. Okay, I see. I think there might be a small delay between the stream and the chat. I might have to change that a little bit in the settings for the next time. Well, we can change the scenery a little bit, and we can show the most beautiful face in the world. Maybe 10 to 30 seconds. Yeah. I noticed it yesterday as well, but I think I have to go into the settings and change. I think it automatically puts it at pieni viiva. And I think in trading it's very important to have it like as small as possible, because people are gonna come here and look at like, okay, well, what is he doing in the moment, because they are comparing it to their own charts. So maybe changing that I know I've done the change where I put it to as small as possible, but it always automatically puts it to the tiny delay, which is a little annoying. So I have to change that setting. But here we are, beautiful face. Your trading role model, the trading coach here on YouTube and Kick. But hey, a good trade on RTY. Back on green. We are quite a lot up now on the week as well. Or a little bit at least. We are up like 450 or something on the week. which is pretty good, or 500, something around there. I have to check in my trading journal, but a decent trade there. Let's see if we can end the end of the week on the same foot. We have some big news on Thursday and Friday. So tomorrow and Friday we have CPI, then we had inflation, we had PMI on Friday. So a lot of big news and volatility. So it's gonna be very exciting to trade the end of the week. But I mostly like these calm days when it's slow. It's basic balance days, and there's like very structural things. But when news come in, they usually mix up the structure a little bit, and there's like more unknown things in the market. But brings volatility, which usually gives good risk to reward ratio. Good luck with trades, says Riku. Thank you very much, Riku. Appreciate it. Thank you. I will always need that luck. I'm never against taking some extra luck because sometimes trading is about luck too, you know. But we broke the losing streak and suddenly we are back, you know, and we are back at the highs again. So that's all it needs, you know, one trade. You can have 4 losing trades in a row, it doesn't matter. One trade, you're back. Hold risk low, win big. That's how it goes. But today's move was very, 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 very clean. I mean, I risked only $90 to make like, well, the whole move money wise was like around $750, and I took that one small loser, which was $90 before. So risk reward was just out of the ballpark on this one. Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you, Riku, very much. I'll be ending the stream. I'll go and do something else. Enjoy my day, enjoy my profits, and back at it again tomorrow. The same time, 15 minutes before the market opens. We're gonna do our pre-market preparation again, and we're gonna go from there. But thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, Riku. Enjoy the karaoke there. And same for everyone who's watching. Have a great day. Jostle Trades is out. Bye, guys. Wait, straight.